Today we're going to have a look at the Volkswagen T6 2.0 TDI 102 brake course, which is the Euro 6 engine. It's a charge cooled engine and it's using a Delphi DCM6.2 engine control unit. We've got two different software versions. Both are the 102 brake course engine. They're identical. Now we've been tuning these engines for well over 2 years. There was a few other companies that just started tuning them, and we've seen a number of problems where the turbo shaft snaps, and this is because the EGTs get too hot. The bearings on the shaft seize up, and then obviously the shaft snaps and totally destroys your turbo, filling your DPF full of oil and also all your intake full of oil. So we're going to have a look at software and EGT thresholds and try and understand why this can be happening. So this is a OLS software that I use to look at the maps. And first of all, we'll find the EGT threshold map on the first software. We'll just put all the factors and offsets in as well so we can see the map correctly. So this is the EGT threshold map. We can see across the top we've got the engine RPM up to 4,500, and also down the side here we've got the EGT limit. This is measured upstream of the turbo by the EGT sensor. You can see here we've got 780 to 1000. We'll have a look on the other software version. Again, exactly the same engine, exactly the same engine control unit, just a different software version. And there's many different software versions for these vehicles out. So again, we'll look at the EGT map and we'll put the correct factors and offsets so we can see it correctly. Now we've got two EGT maps, and if we look on this bottom software version, we've got as engine RPM again up to 4,000 RPM, and then down the side here we've got as EGT threshold, and this one's from 770 to 860. Now what you generally find, a lot of tuning companies, they'll come along and they'll tune your EGT threshold limit like this. This is perfectly fine because running at 860 is perfectly safe for these, and you won't have no problems at all with that. Now if we look at the top software, what you generally find is a lot of people will copy and paste. So they'll copy the tuning what they've done at bottom, or the file what they've got from someone else, or wherever they've got file they'll copy into other one. Now where you had the limit of 860 previously, we've got a limit of 1000. So it's going to go way past the safety limit of the turbo. That's where your turbo bearings are going to overheat, and then they're finally going to seize up. And I think this is where a few tuning companies are going wrong with these software versions, where they've got different limits on them. So I'll show all the factors and offsets for them. So this is the EGT temp, and that's the factor and offset for it. This is the engine RPM. Again, factor, offset, and the map itself, if anyone wants to know the factor for that, there it is. So if anyone is tuning these vehicles, or you're having them tuned, make sure the tuning company is looking at these and does know how to calibrate the software correctly, because you can end up with your turbo compromised. And especially if you've got high subload as well. If you've got high subload of your DPF, obviously your EGTs are going to get hotter than what they would do if you've got a free-flowing. free flowing DPF system. So there you are. I hope this does help people to understand the EGT threshold values on these Delphi DCM6.2s and people get engine tuned correctly.